Alright, so boom, check it. Finally, oh wait, real quick. 3D printers in the back. I can't do anything about it, bro. I can't, you know what I'm saying? So just, you gotta deal with it. But first off, long time coming. We're talking about Stray. I played the entire game. Now here's the review. Okay, we'll start with the bad, then we give it the good, then we get to the rating. All right. So the bad is, I guess the first thing I noticed like towards the end is I felt kind of, I didn't have like very much attachment to the characters. I ain't gonna lie. I didn't have attachment to the cat or BB, to be honest. So his sacrifice at the end seemed less like, it was more like, oh, he died, rather than, oh no, he died. You know what I'm saying? So I think giving it more character, other than giving BB more character rather than just saying, like, finding little lore bits every now and then, could have been better at establishing his character. And I guess because none of them had talking points, and I had to talk, like imagine them talking in my head. I can't, games like that, I can't really be like, oh, this is cool, you know. I feel like if it was like voice acted, I probably would have cared more, depending on how they sound or how they acted. So that is probably another reason why I didn't care. I didn't have that much emotion for the characters. Another thing is, it felt kind of disjointed. It felt like there was after, like, when you get to the all white area, like towards the end of the game, I thought it was going to be another city that you go through, and it's either going to be dead humans or robots that were like right close to humans, or humans that's still alive, and like, because they're in the bunker. I thought like the big wall was the bunker to another city that you had to go through, and then you go to the top. So I was like, it felt off, because I was like, all right, here we go to another city. Let's go again. And then it was the end, and I was like, oh, that's the door to the outside, not the door to the other city as I thought. And that's probably more of me just not reading and not paying attention. But there's plenty of ways to there's plenty of ways that you don't have to use text to explain what's going on. So that's another thing. I felt like the world was super in depth, but there were things to do. There were things to do that I didn't do. So I won't say that it's not in depth. I will say it's just, it felt a lot was there, and I felt like they could have done something, like give those characters and AIs and people you can interact with that's not main missions a little bit more dialogue. It felt kind of cyberpunky. You know how cyberpunk is. You walk up, they say one line, and that's it. You don't have some NPCs, you could talk to them and they have full conversations, but other ones are just like one line hit, and obviously that's the easiest way to go. But with such a linear game, you know, you gotta have more talking points, right? In the footage that corrupted, you didn't see this in my Let's Play, but it corrupted when I first got to the second, like the new city, like the super city with all the police officers and all that stuff. It was a guy in a barbershop, I think, and he was asking questions like such as like, is AI real? Can AI like emotion, like some Detroit Become Human like type questions and stuff like that. So I was like answering them, and I'm kind of mad that my footage corrupted, and I can let you see that and how I discussed it and all that stuff. So I'm not gonna do it here, so that there's no point. And that was cool. And then when you go to other people, they just say, oh, blah 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 blah. You know, like you go up to a food club, he says, good food here. You know, just one line stuff. And I guess since for Cyberpunk it kind of makes sense, even though both games should really have it to go in depth, but it's not something that's necessary. So I'm just nitpicking overall right now. You know what I'm saying with that. Another thing is the jumping. If you were trying to speed run this, hold on, I actually do want to look at some speed runs of this game. But yeah, if jumping, sometimes you will jump down when you're looking up, and you know it's kind of, maybe the game would have been more fun if you were able to freeform jump. So like the jump button's not tied to any like interactable, but maybe that came with a certain set of problems that the developers didn't want to face. Like there's no ability to like fall off anything. So when you're walking across like a tightrope or a beam or something, you can't go left or right and fall. So stuff like that. I just think that more if you had a freeform jump, I think it could have been more speed, not speed run, more what's it called? Parkour, more fast pace. It could have gave something more. And also another story point I wanted to talk about that I just remembered is the giant like eye and the giant growth that does that cutscene where you're in like the factory or something like that. Like that has no resolution. You don't blow it up. A tower doesn't fall and you see it cry. It's just like that thing exists now. And I know it's implied that when the facility gets open, it pops all the potatoes and stuff, but those are inside. It's still some in the sewers. So it needs to have direct light. So like I felt like that could have. It felt like the game, to be honest. It probably wasn't, but it felt like the game is missing like another half, and it might be a second one later on in the franchise, and they didn't really have any signal to that because we don't meet up with the cats that we were initially. But if it was to have a sequel, they could go off like we didn't talk about the cats that we were with initially. They don't talk about the giant growths that's still underground. They don't talk about like what do they do when there's no humans now, and they could just explore from there. I don't know what else they would have, but maybe like another. They'll finish off those like final points that I just established. Okay, enough with the bad. I think I covered everything I disliked pretty much, but also, that's fine. I was gonna talk about the meowing, but the meowing came into play with the gameplay, so I was gonna say this game is for cat lovers, so I can't really diss that. So it's not that. That's fine. All right, for the good, bro. Listen, I love Cyberpunk, and it had an amazing setting. The world, the overall atmosphere. How so much detail is into each location, amazing, bravo. Like yeah, there's not a lot of stuff to do there. Granted, I didn't do much, so I can't. I'm not talking from experience. I'm talking just from what I've seen. But from just the visual standpoint, like a walking simulator standpoint, like if you didn't have no dialogue, amazing game. It has emotion. It has like you feeling. It feels like it's been lived in each part in each place. So. It's really I love the setting. I love the atmosphere. Top tier. Another thing is how surprisingly deep it got when we were talking about main mission. Everybody kept on saying, "Oh, I thought it was gonna be a cat game." This other, and then when they see it get in depth, it was like, "Oh, this is an in-depth game. It's cool. It's blah blah blah." So stuff like that is just like, bro, good job, bro, because the story really carried. Really came out of nowhere. They came out of nowhere, and people were surprised as well as me. I kind of thought it was gonna have this kind of story. I thought it was gonna be a little. I thought, to be honest, when I seen the first trailer, I was kind of half eyeing it. So I thought it was gonna be like an open world, like you are the cat, no dialogue. Well, there's no dialogue, but more like no. It's like you're just exploring a world. It's just a walking simulator with no objective, is what I thought it was, but obviously it had to have like a story or something. So I'm not so surprised that they had a story, but it's a nice, it's a story that comes in clutch as a lore. The world feels lived in, and it focuses more on lore than it did storytelling or characters. And you can tell, like, just you can go find environments and stuff like that. You can take any screenshot from this game and it looks amazing. Like the lighting. Beautiful, bro. Cyberpunk is like one of the punks that you gotta love. I ain't gonna lie. Another thing I liked. I think that's it. That's because it was a pretty decent game. All right, but just look at these lights, bro. Amazing. I'm trying to think. Yeah, that's about all. That's about it. I have to for what I like. That I get off top of the dome. Now we're here for the rating. The illustrious rating that is me personally. So don't you could talk, bro, but don't diss me. I rank it right. 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10. I ain't gonna lie. 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10 mainly because the story. If I cared about the characters a little bit more, it would have been high 8, 9, you know, but it's 6. But the main thing that's carrying it up to 6 is just the world environment and just the overall like thought plan, you know. I feel like it could have been more combat well, quote unquote combat scenes, you know, flashing light. Some people say that's not combat. It is combat. And I did kind of fly through most of the talking points. I ain't gonna lie, but yeah, that's why I'm saying I think the most best way to tell stories is with, you know, the voice actors. But it's t-shirt on t-shirt on. You know, people like reading books, people don't. So it's whatever. But I gotta get a 6 out of 10. I ain't gonna lie. Check me out, bro. If you like the video, just subscribe, bro. Fuck a like. I don't care about the like. Just subscribe. You know what I'm saying? A funny video's coming out tomorrow. Hope you're there, cause it's gonna be amazing. I'm not gonna lie. Alright, let me stop rambling. It was a good game. I'm not dissing it. If everybody thinks I did it too low, it's a great game. I just didn't rock with it. That's all. You know, the characters. I mean, everything else was grade A. You know, 6 out of 10. Alright, roll the outro.
A normal person would have died a lot sooner, but that man just didn't want to let go.